Welcome back to Ashes and Influence, where conversations burn slow and the truth hits smooth. Tonight, we're talking about balance, the kind that builds businesses, keeps your peace, and makes your legacy last. We're joined by Marcey, co owner of the Leaf Affair Lounge, who's given us an inside look at the passion and the partnership behind running a successful cigar space with her husband, Jake, her husband, our guy, Jake. And later, we'll be joined by Juanita, a 22-year banking professional and current bank manager who's breaking down the mindset and money moves that sustain both your career and your community. So go ahead, light up, pour up, and let's talk about the balance between the bag and the burnout. Thank you for joining us, Marcey.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
All right, so I have a really pressing question for you. What inspired you and Jake to open a cigar lounge?
So it was none of the idea was mine at all.
Oh, wow.
So
I would have never thought of that.
and the people have told me that because they've seen the growth that I've gone through.
Right.
But I was busy being a teacher.
Right.
Yeah, I'm an elementary school teacher by my career. I was busy being a mom.
Mhm.
And my husband came to me one day and he's like, I want to open a cigar lounge.
Okay.
And I was like, you get that. And I was like, on one hand, it wasn't surprising because he grew up in Honduras.
Okay.
And so the tobacco fields were just it was just down the way.
Mhm.
And, he had an uncle, Byron Duarte, that worked from the time he was a younger child. He started in tobacco.
Okay.
And so it was surprising because he had never talked about it before, but it wasn't surprising because I knew that he had a history in that.
Right. Okay.
So when he said that, I was like, okay, go for it. He's like, I'll just start small. I need to learn everything first. And I was
Right.
like, okay. So we did. We started very small. And like I said, I wasn't really a part of it at first. He wanted to start with online sales only. So we actually went to Lampasas, Texas.
Mhm.
And the reason for that, rent was very, very low.
Oh.
And so he thought if it doesn't work out, it's not that big a deal. We can still pay the rent out of our own.
Pockets.
Yeah. So that it was okay. And that's the benefit of opening up slowly and within your means.
Absolutely.
Rather than going all out like a big company would.
Mhm.
So he spent the first year just doing online sales. So he was still working his day job, so he would go to work. He would drive over to the little shop in Lampasas, do his online orders and things like that, and then come home for the night. And so he just did this triangle drive every day.
Hmm.
So after about a year, he said, Marcy, I'm ready to open the front door. Nobody's going to be able to smoke inside, but I know enough of what's going on now. I want people to be able to come in, in this area and see what we have and be able to purchase.
Mhm.
And by that time, some people, knew we were there, and they actually started smoking on the sidewalk in the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
the owner of the
lawn
building was like,
chairs.
as long as you're not smoking inside, I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
So they started, we were pulling up
Wow.
chairs and
Oh,
just smoking
wow.
outside together.
That's interesting.
Right.
But since I've been coming here, Marcy, I would have never thought that you were not like, yes, let's do the cigar lounge.
Well, that's quite a story in itself of how I got started, because I was really, in the beginning, I was here for the socializing. Really, I was here
I
as
see.
having a lady in the shop.
Right.
I took care of a lot of the cleanliness aspects of it, emptying
Mhm.
ashtrays, kind of doing what a waitress would do in a way, just making sure tables are clean, glasses are picked up, things like that. But then one day my husband said, Marcey, I'm going to Africa.
Oh.
And I said, what?
Huh? Oh, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Because his part of his job could be, a percentage of his time says that he could be overseas. And so they asked him to cover for somebody else that needed to come back.
Wow.
And he said, sure.
Got you.
Marcey, I'm going to Africa.
And that's all he said. That's all he said.
That was it. And I said, my first question was, who's going to run the shop? And
that was your first question.
He said, you have 2 weeks to learn.
Ooh. Oh, my, Jake.
Well, I didn't.
So I
no pressure.
I want to break in real fast and say, y'all, she said she was working like as a waitress would. And if you ever visit the Leaf Affair, we've got the cleanest ashtrays.
Yes.
Like I am very, very spoiled
Yes.
by Marcey. I've gone to another cigar lounge and left because of the state of the ashtrays. I had to throw that in there before we.
And the piggyback on what you're saying, we were just visiting another lounge a little bit south of us just this weekend.
Yeah.
And the guy finally walks out to come and empty the ashtray. And I look straight at him. I say, Jake would never.
They would never.
I pointed at the ashtray. I say, Jake would never.
So you guys, honestly, you guys set the standard for us when we're out and visiting other lounges.
Yeah.
Marcey would never.
Definitely.
I did not realize how important. I mean, a clean ashtray is nice. It looks nice. It just, your smoke feels different, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not realize how important it was until someone had come in visiting and they said to me, I never realized how important a clean ashtray was until I came here. And I was like, and that felt real good because I knew it was something.
Yeah.
I've had many of people walk in the front door and say, just never been here before, but they walk in and they look around and they go, there's a woman's touch here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, I get a smile on my face.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, there is.
So Jake is the sommelier.
Yes.
You are the tobacconist.
Yes.
Tell me about each of your roles.
So this stems back from him going to Africa, because about a week after he left, maybe 2 weeks after he left, that's when COVID happened. And so, here I was, our son was working with us and we had another employee. But when COVID happened and they were like, you've got to shut down the lounge, we had to let our employees go. But I was also still teaching. And so I was like, I talked to my husband about it, what are we going to do? Because I am on contract until 3:30, and there is not a school system that's going to let you double up. So he said, well, that's easy. He said, you get off work at 3:30, you're off contract, the shop will be open from 4 to 8 every night. So Marcey Gaitan, not only was I, learning to run the shop in 2 weeks, but now it was time you're going to work by yourself 7 days a week.
Jake just has a plan. He goes with it. He just has a plan.
That's how
and
it
goes
is.
And throw you in the deep end.
I love
That's
it.
how it's
Just
always
throw her
been.
in the deep end.
I love it.
So we did that. I really spent most of my time in the humidor. Okay, and when I was done in the humidor, I was at the table sitting right to the front so I could see every customer that came in, and I had a book, and that book was the book from the Tobacconist University. And so I had read, at the time we were members with PCA, Premium Cigar Association.
Okay.
And so I was able to do it free. I just had to get my hands on the book. And so you basically read this book, and that book is part of the course.
Okay.
And you do the book at your own pace. They also, you need to work in a cigar shop, so you can get the experience of that. And you take a test at the end. 90% or better, and You're certified.
Here we are.
90%.
Here we are.
Not the 75%.
No. About these leaves.
No,
Right.
A's only.
So 100 questions.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
And they made sure it counted.
It was
For
right.
90% of
It was
that.
a lot.
Jeez.
So that's what I had to do. It
Mhm.
was like I had cigars to learn in the humidor, and I had a book to read out at the table,
Cool.
and so that was where my learning happened.
Nice.
Nobody was in the lounge sitting, so I had time on my hands,
That's right.
and between
Kind of like a blessing in disguise.
it really
Because Jake threw the book at you pretty much.
right.
He threw
Well,
the book at
and
you.
mind you, at this time, I still was not smoking.
Oh. Wow.
No.
We didn't know that.
I
Wow.
was not smoking yet.
You're a new smoker, Marcey?
So
Yeah.
how long
New
has
age.
it been now? How long have you been
Well,
smoking now?
when COVID happened,
Yeah.
so 2020,
Yeah.
I was still not smoking, but I don't know if y'all are familiar with him, Greg from 1911 Cigars in Cibolo, Texas.
No.
He was active duty at the time
Okay.
on Fort Hood, and so he would come in during the week, buy his cigars with us, and then on the weekend go back and run his shop.
Mm.
So he came in one day to buy his cigars, and he said, "Hey," he said, "my members still," because they have a member lounge, a private member lounge, and then they have the area that's non-member. He said, "My members still want to get together, but obviously we cannot."
Mm-hmm.
And it was even more strict in San Antonio.
Jeez.
And so he said, "You're not doing anything on a Saturday night at 7:00. Why don't you hop on a Zoom call with us?" He said, "My members, that's how we get together."
Huh.
And I was like, "Well, okay." He said, we can get some reps on there. We'll have, Cigars for Warriors come on and talk. I'll get some cigar shop owners on. He said, and we'll just smoke and drink and conversate, He said, "I'll introduce you. Just be ready to tell what you're drinking, what you're smoking."
Mm.
And right there, my heart sunk.
Yep. I'm
Because
familiar with that
number
feeling.
one, I don't drink.
She don't drink.
I really don't drink.
And at the time.
And at the time, I wasn't smoking.
Right.
And I was like,
You're actually going to be the square on the show.
he is going to introduce me as a cigar shop owner.
Mm.
And although I drank coffee, I
Mhm.
was like, what? I'm going to introduce myself as drinking coffee, smoking a Groovy Blue? I don't think that's going to work as a cigar shop owner.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to have to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew, without a doubt, I drink coffee with all my cigars. It's just, it's the best pairing for me. Every now and then, I don't prefer soda with my cigars, but every now and then I'll have an orange soda. For me, an orange soda with a medium strength cigar pairs nicely.
I'm going to try that.
Mhm.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a root beer with maybe just a little bit of bourbon cream in it.
Mm.
That pairs nicely as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew I was going to have my coffee. I didn't know what to do besides go in that humidor, and this one looks
Eeny,
good.
meeny, miny, mo.
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
And I picked up a Black Label Trading Royalty.
Huh.
Mm.
I don't know why I chose it. It was there, and I thought this one looks good. And
I know the rules. You know not to inhale. You know not to inhale.
I knew
You
the
knew that,
basics.
Yeah.
That's it. If I can get through that, I can get through this Zoom
I
call.
just knew. I felt that as a cigar shop owner, it needed to be a natural cigar. I wasn't going to play around with any flavors. I was just going to go ahead and make that jump, and I did.
And been
and-
smoking ever since.
Yes.
I love it.
Wow.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I went back and did it a little different way besides just going in there and aimlessly choosing.
Mhm.
Right.
But right then. So it was during COVID that I started smoking.
Cool.
Yeah.
So since then, what has cigar culture taught you about patience, people, and purpose?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't know what to expect at first.
Mm-hmm.
After we started getting into it, it was obviously a man's game.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Back then, I was the only female in the shop.
Oh, wow.
Just me. Yeah, just me. And one day I was sitting there. This was after COVID was over. We got through COVID pretty good.
Mhm.
We actually continued. And we were a new company then as far as being here in Killeen with the lounge. But we did continue to grow. I was so proud of myself
Yeah,
that I
right.
still
You
grew
did
the
it, 'cause
company.
you did it. Absolutely.
4 hours a night,
Yes,
every day.
yes.
I still grew the company, so that felt good. And so one day I was sitting at the table, and in walks this lady, and she said, "I'm going to smoke a cigar." I said, "Yes, ma'am, we
She
are."
announced it.
Yes, ma'am, we are.
She said, "I've been telling myself I've been wanting to do this." She said, "I'm coming to smoke a cigar today." Yeah. And she's still one of our customers today.
Right.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
And so that was how it started. And then she brought in someone with her.
Okay.
And then little by little, people started coming in.
Yep. That's all it takes.
And really, people of all ages.
Mhm.
We've got our active duty military that come in,
Often.
both male and female now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've got a lot of retirees that come in that are bringing their
Absolutely.
wives with them.
Nice.
Some of them non-smokers. Some of them have started smoking, dabbling a little bit here and there. Because I sit and smoke there while they're at the table, and either they'll, "Oh, that smells really good," or and so they wanted to try, and so
I can remember the first time I came in the shop, and I don't know if you'll remember, but you all were sitting at the front table, you, Jake. I call them your girlfriends because I don't know their names, but you know who I'm talking about. You all were sitting at the front table, and I came in. I don't know what I'm looking for, so I ended up speaking to Jake first. And I'm like, I need something girly and sweet because I'm here, I'm going to smoke, but it cannot burn my chest. And he didn't even try to help me. He immediately went to Marcey. Like, what do we have?
he turns
honey?
around and he goes,
What do we
"Marcey?"
have, honey?
Yes.
And he
Yes.
pointed me to the leather rose, which was an incredible choice. I didn't let that leather rose go for a
long
while.
time.
It was a long time. I smoked that leather rose, and I was introduced to her sisters.
Yes,
And
the Deadwood girls.
Yeah.
That is a great starting point.
Absolutely.
The cigars are made with pipe tobacco, so they're aromatic and they're sweet, and so people get hooked to them very quickly.
I've been here ever since.
They're a premium cigar. They're long fillers. They're premium, and so when you smoke that, you're like, okay,
satisfied.
I can do this.
Yeah,
This is nice.
Another good choice. What are we smoking today, ladies? I see all this smoke in the air. What are we smoking?
Well, I am smoking a Tatiana cinnamon today.
No
ladies
Groovy
and
Blue,
gentlemen.
y'all. No Groovy Blue.
No Groovy Blue today.
She's growing.
Cinnamon. So I said I'm going to try all the flavors. So I'm not promising I'm stepping out of the Tatiana family.
Which is okay.
Yes. And Marcy gave me a little bit of information, but I would like for her to say it.
Well, the Tatianas, I like the story behind them, and that may be part of being a retired teacher. I like the story behind the cigars. But the Tatiana is actually the name of Nestor Miranda's daughter. So she has a whole line of cigars named after her. And Nestor Miranda's the owner of the company, Miami Cigars. And so Tatiana is his daughter.
Awesome.
I am almost halfway through smoking a Charter Oak Pegnataro. And it's been a good smoke so far. It's creamy. I can taste some hints of almond. I know that it's a Connecticut wrapper. I believe that this is a Nicaraguan fill. I believe so. It's a Nicaraguan fill. But so far, so good. I'm not mad at it. Y'all know I'm on my kick. A new cigar every time y'all see me until I figure something else out.
Well, as for me, this is one of my staples, one of my favorites from the first time I was introduced to the Rocky Patel Gold label. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. Has hints of vanilla, a little bit of spice, a little bit of almond, like yours. But it's very balanced, very smooth. Don't come at you kind of hard and brash, but it kind of
Rocky Patel.
Yes, I love it. I love it. It's really my go-to. So this is a staple in my smoke.
Your smoking profile.
My smoking profile. But yeah, I love me a good Rocky Patel Gold label.
Well, I'll tell you, I had the pleasure of being able to go through the Rocky Patel factory
Nice.
Oh my gosh! If you get
Where
the
is that
chance,
located?
in Honduras.
Oh
Wow.
If
I
you
gotta
get
go
the
to
chance of
Right.
going and doing like a factory tour,
Yeah.
grab onto that. I have immense respect for the Rocky Patel line because of that tour.
Okay.
The quality assurance that goes on in that factory, it's amazing, and it just makes you realize how much work goes into making
Yeah.
each stick.
Yeah.
And we talk about each stick, one cigar,
Yes.
not the brand,
Exactly.
not all the different lines of cigar, the detail in each stick. And I think that's important. What you smoking today, Mars?
So I have the new Alec Bradley Fine and Rare 2025.
Okay.
This is a limited edition stick. They only made 1,500 boxes.
Okay.
It has 10 different tobaccos in it.
Holy smokes. That's
Yeah.
really grown.
Did you recently advertise that on the Facebook page?
We did.
Yeah,
we did.
I saw
It's
that.
new.
I saw
It's
that.
new.
Yeah.
And it's a medium. It's not real strong.
Okay.
It's a medium.
Mhm.
It does have a little bit of pepper, maybe / cinnamon in it.
Okay.
But the complexity of the cigar
Mm.
it is top notch. It is good. I sat and smoked it with several of the guys last night who have much wider palates than I do,
Yeah.
and they enjoyed it as well, even though it was a
Nice.
medium strength cigar. So
Cool.
I know we spoke recently about palate burnout. Like
Mhm.
if you are not medium to bold back down to mild, like you can burn yourself
Right.
out trying to reach the different levels.
I do think so. You know, there's a lot in the cigar industry. There's a lot of opinions. You know, there's opinions on what's the best cut. There is no best cut. The best cut is the cut that
You
you
like.
like.
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, there's opinions on whether you store your cigars in your humidor wrapped or unwrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Do you take the plastic off of the cigar, the cellophane, or do you not?
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
Some people do, and they have their reasons behind it. And some people say, "Oh no, I would never remove my cigar from the cellophane."
Store 'em
Yeah.
the way I got
You know,
'em.
it's still opinion.
Still
The
opinion.
way you do it
Preference.
is
Right.
Yeah.
and
Makes
there's
sense.
usually reasons for why people choose what they choose.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of opinions that fly around in the market, and so
So tell me this. So what vision did you both have when you started, and how has that evolved?
so my husband always, you know, when he came into the military, he came in as an E1. We were bottom of the barrel.
Very,
You
very
know,
bottom.
he started bottom, and so in our being young, newly married, our first duty station was Germany.
Mm.
So then you get the challenge of being overseas, away from absolutely everybody.
Yes.
And I was pregnant with our first child at the time on top of it.
Jeez.
So, you know, we just dive into everything.
Yes,
don't we?
yes.
First.
Head
Yes.
first. No sticking your toe in the water to check the temperature.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna do it. We're
All
just gonna
in.
do it.
So, ask me that question again because I lost my thought.
What vision?
what
did you
vision?
want? Mhm.
So we've always wanted something, you know, because he remembers being that E1 and being without money, and what money you did have was used for what you absolutely needed,
Yeah.
of course,
Right.
and then having the new baby and everything. So he wanted a place where it didn't matter if you were an E1. There would be no membership fee. You know, some people come in here and they want to pay me a membership. And I'm like, I'll take your money, but we don't have a
Just
membership.
sat down and
You
smoke.
know?
Sat
Right.
down and smoke.
And so we wanted at least a small selection of cigars that almost anybody could afford, you know, because those were things he wanted to do. You know, I
Yeah.
wish as an E1 I could have gone
Gone to
in,
a
bought a
lounge.
cigar and
Mhm.
sat down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we just didn't have that at the time.
Mhm.
And so he always dreamed of something like that for
Nice.
everybody.
Nice.
Great.
And that's what we
Thoughtful.
wanted.
Very
And
So
I will
that's-
say, y'all have
Yeah.
done a great job. When I my best friend Talia
Symphony.
Symphony
We've got names, Marcey.
introduced me to the cigar world, and this is the very first cigar lounge that I have come to.
Okay.
And I'm going to be honest with you, everyone is on the scale as to what Jake and Marcy do. So, and I will say that y'all have set a precedence for me
Thank you.
as far as cigar lounges go, because it's welcoming here, clean, very clean. Even the bathroom is clean. And you guys, I went in the other bathroom and I was astonished. They have in this lounge mints, toothpaste, cologne, lotion, Listerine,
Absolutely.
all of these things.
Absolutely.
All the essentials.
All the essentials.
I don't gotta
Are
ask for it.
There's body spray for you.
Bath and Body Works.
Bath
and Body Works,
top tier. Now, where can you get Bath
Top
and Body
tier.
Works spray?
Nowhere.
So, ladies, understand that there's a cigar lounge that will appeal and appease your needs as well.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to go in there and sit down and smoke you a stick and, look sophisticated and demure, but
This
you
is
have
advice.
definitely set
Yeah.
the precedent.
Thank you. And some of the ideas are mine, but I don't take all the credit. That's one of our favorite things to do. My husband and I love, when we travel, we love to go to the local B&M
Yeah.
because, I go in, first of all, I want to see the humidor, and I go around looking for cigars that we don't have because I want to try new things.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of those things we bring into our own lounge
Absolutely.
because they smoked so well, I love to visit the bathroom. Like, what do they put in theirs? What do they have?
Exactly.
She lounging the same way we lounge.
Absolutely. Exactly. And it was a different cigar shop that I got the idea for the Listerine and mints side by side. So I was like, I can do that,
Absolutely.
Right.
Oh, man.
We have very little storage here, so this bathroom could not be as nice.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Okay.
I'd have a shelf in there also.
I know,
But
that's right.
he's like, no, we need a storage area.
Confession time.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let's confess, and then I
Confession time.
have a question for the table.
Confession time. Marcy, the bottom of most of my pocketbooks.
Oh my God, this is really a confession. She finna tell on
really
herself.
a confession.
She finna tell on herself.
Listen, it's what I do.
I never thought you would do it.
I would. That's Marcy. She's here with us now.
Marcy,
You can do it.
understand that it is.
Marcy, the bottom of most of my purses are filled with mints that I affectionately call Marcy mints.
Marcy mints.
Y'all want a Marcy mint?
We were in other countries.
Yes.
And she
want a Marcy mint?
we vacationed together in the Bahamas, and she dug a Marcy mint out of the bottom of her purse.
Sometimes you just need a Marcy mint. Sometimes you just need a Marcy.
That is
So
nice.
I do.
So, yeah.
I never thought that I would say that, let alone on camera. I do. Most of my purse.
I will tell you, I had another customer admit to me that because up in front there are a few of the little coffee
I've got some of those
Coffee
too.
candy?
coffee candies.
The one
yeah.
that,
Like
Werther's.
Werther's. That's what they are.
Oh, yeah. those.
And they came to me and said, I took a couple of these and I put them on my wife's dashboard when she wasn't looking, so when she got in the morning, she saw that I left her some candies.
Oh.
And she really liked that. And I was like, all right.
I've only got a few Werthers. I've only got a few Werthers. But
You are motivating and inspiring men and women, even outside the lounge.
Y'all do better.
Yeah. Let me tell you about the first cigar that I ever smoked.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure maybe y'all have had a little bit more experience than me, but this first time almost took me out.
Oh Lord.
Almost made me never smoke again because I went into a lounge with a friend, introduced to the cigar lounge and the cigar family, and I get in there and I have a drink and I sit down and nobody gives me any pointers. Nobody gives me cigar 101. I've never smoked anything in my life, but I'm watching them and I didn't know anything about not inhaling.
Oh Lord.
So I let the cigar owner pick my cigar.
And it wasn't
a
a
flavor.
layer of all this.
Yes,
It was probably a Maduro.
It probably
was a Maduro.
because I smoked and I inhaled the entire cigar all night long, and I thought,
she lucky she.
I'm not sure.
friend.
I'm not sure I'm ever gonna smoke a cigar again. Like I don't like this. I feel nauseous right now.
Uh-huh.
I feel so sick.
Yes.
I thought maybe I just need something on my stomach to eat. So we left the cigar lounge at the end of the night. On the way home, we stop at McDonald's. I get a fish sandwich and some fries.
Yeah.
And I scarfed that down, trying
Because
to
she's starving
get rid
now.
of the nauseousness too.
Right.
And by the time we got to my girlfriend's house and we got in the door, I went straight for the bathroom and I brought up my entire gut.
Oh my God.
And I was so sick. So I
Cigar
could have.
vomits are bad.
Oh, I never even heard of cigar vomit. But baby, I experienced it that night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes.
please
and
visit.
that, honestly, again, that whole teacher in me,
Yes.
I want to grab people.
Yeah.
And you can usually see it in their eyes when they walk
Yes.
in. This is your first time here,
Uh-huh.
isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
It's on their face. They walk down that hallway. We've had some people walk down the hallway and then their eyes get real big and they turn around. And we're like, no, come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can help you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I love to teach.
Mhm.
And there's so many, especially men, there are so many that say, I didn't know I was coming in for all of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Like, I've learned more in the last 5 minutes than
Yeah.
and so I do. I love to teach, and that's a shame,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Shouldn't have. Yeah.
because you've got to guide people carefully, and
Right.
even though I picked that royalty cigar on my own that time,
Mhm.
I wasn't a tobacconist yet. I was studying, but I was not a tobacconist. I went back and with the teacher mindset,
Gotcha.
I went back and I said, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke. I came back out of the naturals and I'm going to smoke all the coffee flavored cigars. At the time, we had tons of coffee flavored cigars because I didn't understand how all these cigars are being made from a tobacco plant. I'm just thinking of fields and fields of tobacco.
Yeah.
And even though they're all being made from that tobacco plant, how are they different then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you're saying
Mm.
yours is coffee and yours is coffee, mine's coffee, then how are they different?
Right.
I've got to understand this.
Right.
Right.
And so my goal was to smoke one cigar a day, every day, but never to repeat.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So I smoked every coffee flavored cigar. I wrote them down. I kept the band, you know, because I wanted to be able to go back and say, wait, what did I think about that
Yeah.
one? How do, you know, and compare.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big user of Cigar Scanner.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go in there and I would make humidors
Mhm.
in my app. And so it would be, yes, I'd smoke again. This was amazing. No, I'll never touch that one again. It wasn't right for my palate. Too strong at this time. And so I would organize the cigars that I smoked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there were some coffee cigars that were too strong. There were some I just didn't like at all. There were some that I wanted to repeat. Oh, I want to smoke that one again. You know, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, nope, I have a goal.
That's
I
right.
got to stick
One
to
a
my
day.
goal.
One a
So
day.
after I got through the coffee flavored cigars, I went back and said, okay, I'm going back in on the naturals and I'm starting with all the Connecticut wrapped cigars.
Mhm.
I love
It
this
didn't
story.
matter, you know, because there is a misunderstanding that if it's a Connecticut, it's mild. That's not true.
Ah,
It's a guide, but it's a misconception. It's
Mhm.
not true.
very interesting.
Mostly you'll be okay picking
Yeah.
a Connecticut, but there can be a Connecticut that is strong.
Huh.
And it,
Okay.
you know, it's not only the wrapper, it does, you know, you've got
The
your binder and your
fill.
filler in
Okay.
there also.
Okay.
So that makes a difference.
Be careful out there.
I know.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta
I'm
be
worried
careful.
about myself in these streets right now.
And you know, it depends too. A cigar can have a lot of pepper to it,
Mhm.
and you'll get that pepper in the retrohale. And there's some cigars that have no pepper in it. You can have a deep, dark Maduro with no pepper,
Mm-hmm.
and so you will not feel the strength of that cigar.
Huh.
You know, and if you're not retrohaling, if you retrohale,
The
that's
retro
gonna,
hell is when you bring it up and through
through-
your nose.
yep.
Yeah.
and that can often kick up the
I
strength.
did that
Gotcha.
once and I almost died.
Once you're
I almost died. And I made sure I didn't do it in front of anybody because I had heard from the cigar community
you could
that
die.
was a thing.
Okay.
That it was a
okay.
thing. And I thought,
And so what you need to do is you need to get you a softer cigar
Uh-huh.
that does not have pepper
okay,
and retrohale again.
okay.
Because
okay.
that's where you're going to get your notes. That's
Yeah.
where you'll get the strength of the cigar.
That's what I was told.
Your pepper, your cinnamon, things like that are
Yeah.
going to come through retrohaling.
Through retrohaling.
Yes.
So what about the under the tongue? Is there a pool for under the tongue?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I will say that a lot of men tell me that they get the notes through the retrohale.
Mm-hmm.
All the notes of the cigar through the retrohale.
Mm-hmm.
Byron Duarte, the master blender, he will not blend a cigar without retrohaling.
Wow.
That's where he gets all the
Wow.
notes. I feel like, especially early on when I was really focused on what am I smoking, what am I tasting,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was getting the notes on my tongue,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing I was getting on the retrohale was either it had pepper or no pepper, or light,
Got you.
what
Gotcha.
grade of pepper it had, and then I felt the strength
Mm-hmm.
because that
Okay.
pepper added to the strength. That's all I felt I was getting. Now that I've been smoking and I do repeat cigars and I've been all around the humidor and the different strengths and all, it's actually harder now for me to pull notes than what it was. And I don't know if it's because I'm not focused. It's like, okay,
I'm just smoking.
I know
at
I
this
like
point.
this and I'm just smoking and I
Right.
enjoy it. So,
Right. Marcey,
so
I think, I don't know. Did you guys have any more questions for
Yeah,
Marcey?
yeah, absolutely. What advice would you give to someone starting out in the cigar community as far as owning your own business, opening up a lounge, something like that? Like, what are, I don't know if it would be step-by-step instructions, but just like a summary or generalized what advice you would give.
we have a
somebody
lot of people
interested.
come in here who, and they just offer it to us. I'm thinking about opening a cigar lounge.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Oh, awesome, And some of them are like, they're active duty right now, and they it's something they want to do after
Yeah.
they're done with the military.
Yeah, returning home.
Right,
whatever.
they're returning home. They're like, oh, I want to open a cigar shop in North Carolina or
Mhm.
wherever. And so sometimes they will ask to talk to my husband. He's the one that did the actual opening, and he loves to sit down with people. He will give you every bit of advice. He will answer questions. That he's always been very open with the knowledge that he has gained.
Yeah,
in this.
that's good stuff.
There's not just one way to do things. There are plenty of shops in the Central Texas area. We're actually very saturated with both very small and larger shops.
We are.
We love to see the different ones because each one has its own environment, its own feeling,
Yeah.
its own,
Yeah. Yeah.
No two are alike.
they are not.
No,
they're not,
And
no.
really that we see that as well in our two shops. We actually have another shop in Salado, Texas. And if you've been here and you've been there, they're both very
Night and
different.
day.
Yes.
Night and day.
Which one was open first?
This one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah. We went from Lampasas to Clean, and then after Clean was open, we had somebody come to us that lives in Salado and was like, hey, want to open a cigar shop in Salado?
What Jake say? Because Jake don't have no filter.
Yeah,
we're
sure.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do
we're
it.
gonna do it.
We dive that in on everything, So yeah, a whole different vibe going on there, and people have their preferences, and we just tell people you go where you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But back to your question, I think the biggest thing is to do your homework.
Yes.
What is already available out there in your area that you're wanting to open up? What does your customer base look like?
Right.
We knew right away our customer base. We have Fort Hood right there.
Yeah.
We knew our customer base was going to be
Mostly
active
military.
duty and retired.
Yeah.
We knew that. I'm not even sure my husband was even considering ladies at the time. I don't even know if that was a thought in his head. But when I'm sitting there all night, and and we would have people come in just curious sometimes, especially in Salado, just because it's a very touristy area.
Yeah.
People just come in and they're just amazed. They look in that humidor and they're like, wow.
Wow.
Can I take a picture of that? Sure.
Yeah.
Some people just, they think about their grandfather. My grandfather used to smoke a pipe, or
I hear that a lot.
or I would hear my grandfather chewed a cigar.
Oh.
He never lit it. He would just chew the cigar.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Just sat it in his mouth like a mechanic.
And so
Yeah.
they just
Like that toothpick.
yeah, and they come in and they're like, that aroma, the smell of the cigar is just amazing. You know,
Yeah.
I love, can I just sit here for a while?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Do it.
And so after you do your homework and you know all that, you know, definitely put together that business plan.
Yes.
If you're needing a loan from the bank wants to see that business plan.
Mhm.
You know, where are you headed in 5 years from now?
Mhm.
Because oftentimes when you sign a lease, it's going to be 3 years at least.
Ooh,
You know, and you've got to think about not only how am I going to open, but how am I going to keep it going
Right,
over time?
yes.
Right.
You know, you see so many small businesses fail. Did you do your homework? Did
Yeah.
you know who your audience was going to be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good
And
information.
then did you continue to try to grow that audience?
Yes.
Because
That's important.
yes, Fort Hood is always going to have a rotation of
Right.
soldiers,
Right.
but how are you going to move beyond that?
That's
Mhm.
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I think pulling in the ladies, that has been
Mhm.
part of
That's
it.
the thing.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But again, still,
Was that strategic? Pulling in the ladies? Like, did you?
not at first. It
Okay.
wasn't. Like I said, that one lady walked in,
Mhm.
and it kept growing it grew very fast from there.
Mhm.
And then one night we looked around and we're like, you know what? We've got more ladies in here right
Look
now
at
than we've
that.
had
Look at
men.
that.
So we all piled onto the couch and took a picture.
Yeah.
And when we were on the couch, we were on the back of the couch,
Mhm.
and we took a picture, and I posted that right on social media
right.
to
Yeah.
say, look, you know, there are ladies here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, ladies, if you are in the Killeen, Fort Hood area and you enjoy cigars, or you're interested in smoking cigars, or you know, maybe a newcomer want to know more, you see she is a
Mhm.
wealth of knowledge. So come on in, stop by the Leap Affair. You're always welcome. Always
Yes.
welcome.
And you know, the biggest thing, don't be intimidated.
Yeah.
We even have men that come through the door that they know they want to smoke, but they are so intimidated, so shy when they walk in.
Mm-hmm.
One of the stories I remember, oh my goodness, this man, very, very tall. I was sitting on the bench in the other room, and he looks down at me and he says, ma'am, I want to learn to smoke cigars.
I wanna learn.
Can you teach me?
Aww.
And I said, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, have a seat.
So, Marcey, you and Jake have built a space that brings people together, but maintaining that takes more than vision. It took structure, planning, and financial discipline. And now we're going to talk about that side of it.
Okay.
I got one final question before we do go in there. Karen Berger was here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
And I heard her pronounce Jake's
Real
name.
name.
And I haven't been able to get it out my head. Give it to me. Give me the correct pronunciation.
His real name is Jacobo.
Jacobo. And
Jacobo.
she said it with
Yeah.
such a fluency.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to call him Jacobo.
Yeah. So it's spelled Jacob with an O at the end.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so just like any J name, it has the H sound.
Yes.
You know, Jose, Jesus.
Mhm.
That.
Yeah.
So his name is Jacobo, but it is a family name.
Mhm.
His
Okay.
father and grandfather also
Nice.
have the same name.
Nice.
Our son has the same name. And so I've always called my husband Jacobo. Jake was, no.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
I use Jake as well now when I'm talking to people about him, because if I say Jacobo, they say who?
Who? I don't even know who that is.
Right.
And so it just has become Jake. But with our youngest son in school, the teachers did not want to use his name. And they're like, well, we don't know how to say it.
Learn.
Exactly.
You're a teacher.
And I would tell him, this is, ma'am, sir, this is a family name, and we'd like to keep it that
That's
way.
right.
His name is not Jacob.
No.
His name isn't Jake. His name is Jacobo.
That's it.
And
Let's get it together.
yeah,
Before I get y'all
so
together.
I was
All right,
I was
sorry,
very
that's the
strict
parent
about
in
that
me.
the whole time.
Good.
But after my husband receiving the what was that?
Yeah.
He got tired of that, and he's like, just call me Jake.
Yeah. Marcey, I want to thank you. This was everything that I hoped it would be and some. Thank you
Yes.
so much. for
Yeah,
doing this.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Marcey.
Yeah.
Are you the smartest dummy or the most dense genius in your friend group? Yeah, us too. That's why you'll fit right in with the Enlightened Idiot podcast, live every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. We're talking bold takes on sex, mental health, current events, and all the stuff you forget you care about until somebody says it out loud. So slide through, kick back, and get your dose of real talk and reckless wisdom. Stay enlightened.
What up, what's happening? It's Dak Martin, the Fillmore's Gourmet Man, back with the Bubbling Experience. Today I'm tapping in with another one of my favorites. If you know me, I got plenty of favorites. This one here, shout out to Flipper's Pizza, man. Got that good custom pie. I like to go with a little chicken breast, gorgonzola cheese, caramelized onions. Now you can always go with the barbecue sauce or whatever your choice is, but over here, we go beyond barbecue. So you got to have that bubbling sauce to get it right. When I tell you go on everything, I mean that. Trust me, this that get right. Bubbling sauce. Ain't nothing like it.
The Leaf Affair Cigar. Get it at the Leaf Affair Cigar Shop in Killeen and Salado, Texas, or online at leafaffair.com.
Welcome back, y'all, to Ashes and Influence. We are now joined by Miss Juanita. You got it, Assistant Vice President, 22 years in the banking industry. She says she started from the bottom, now she's here. Period, point, and blank. Welcome to the show, Juanita. Thank you for joining.
Welcome, Juanita.
Juanita.
Absolutely. All right, right off bat, if the banking industry had a personality, what would that personality be?
The word that comes to mind is, I'm gonna say crazy, just because, like I said, when you're dealing with people's money, when you're dealing with people's money, it's a serious thing. It's nothing that you take lightly. So.
Oh, and listen, I ain't got a lot, but y'all come fucking with it if y'all want to.
Right.
I'ma show out.
Right.
Show up and show out.
Absolutely. So after 22 years in the banking, what is the one thing people still get wrong about money?
Keeping money under their mattress.
It's a thing. Like my
People still do
grandparents,
that?
my
People
grandparents
still
was
do
like,
that.
I'm not
Still do
taking my
that.
money to no bank. They
Yeah.
ain't gonna steal my money. FDIC
Yeah.
insured.
Right.
They ain't gonna steal my money.
Keeping money in your mattress and not investing it, not finding a different avenue or way to profit from yourself. Like if you have money, $10,000, whatever, $500, I don't care, invest it somewhere.
Right.
Make something off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's just don't sit there and it ain't earning nothing.
No interest.
I want to
no
travel. I
nothing.
have things I want to do.
Right.
I don't care, balling on a budget or not.
Yes.
Save,
You can
do
always
Yeah.
squeeze in a trip.
Yeah.
It's always room for vacation.
Yes.
Always.
After 22 years in the banking industry, what do you remember about your first day in banking? Do you remember your first day in banking? Do you remember your first day in banking?
I actually do, just because I started off at the call center, and when I transferred over to the actual banking side,
Uh-huh.
it's a whole different culture.
Whole
Like you
different-
learn
wow.
how to count money. You start from the ground up,
Mhm.
learning how to do simple things, how to count it to the customer, how to manage, and how to explain how to take care of the customer. We do a lot for our customers. We
Okay.
don't just, well, my branch does, our company does. I feel like our customers are so spoiled because we have a lot of older ones, even younger ones, but they don't know how to get online. You got to
Mhm.
help them with logging in.
Mhm.
There's a lot of little things to it.
So what would you tell your younger version of yourself? What would you tell that version of yourself today?
I would have started building my credit sooner,
Okay.
because I was a
Credit.
cash car buyer.
Mhm.
I ain't had no kind of credit. And that hurts you in the long run.
Mhm.
Just like the investing part, if you haven't started at any age, I would
Yeah.
say. But when you're only buying cash and you're not building anything on your credit, and you don't have revolving credit, and you don't have a house or a car, nothing to help be like, okay, let me help the bank. You want the bank to approve you or something, then you're coming in at 30, time I don't want a car loan, denied.
Right. And that goes back to what Coco Flame was saying earlier about things that you wish people knew today, like the value or the importance of credit.
Right.
You know, because I remember going into a car dealership, like you're saying, I didn't have no cash to get them people.
None.
But them telling me, you don't have bad credit. You don't have
no
any credit.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like,
That's worse.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do I obtain credit? And she was like, go buy something and pay it off and then come back.
Yeah.
So I did exactly that. I went in, I bought something and I paid it off. But then they told me, wait a minute, you paid it off too quickly. You need to pay it off. We need to see that over a long period of time, at least 6 months, you can make consistent payments on something. So I went and bought a living room set. And because I'm young, I went and bought a living room set, but I paid on it for 6 months, and that helped me establish credit.
I think I started off with like a Victoria's Secret credit card or something.
So is that an example of revolving credit? Because a lot of people may not know what revolving credit is. Could you tell us a little bit more about revolving credit?
Yeah, it is. It's just basically when you have a credit card and you're making your payments or you pay off it. I do like, now I'm at a point where if I try to put something on my credit card, I do pay it off, but I'm spending it every single month, so it's still revolving.
Right.
And it's good to have several lines of revolving credit because that's what they look at when you're going to buy a house, especially.
Right.
At least 3 minimum, I would say.
Oh, that's some good information. I did not know that I should have 3.
At least 3.
At least
3 different
I'm
cards.
sure you got 3 credit cards in your purse right now.
I don't. Believe it or not, I have 2 credit cards. One I barely use, one I use monthly because all of my bills are on that credit card. Everything is on that. And like you said, I pay it off at the end of the month. So it's not a carryover.
Because I hate paying interest.
Yeah, I do not pay interest.
Yeah.
That's I'm not giving you any money.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to build, wealth. So the last thing I want to do is give it away in interest. And these credit card interest rates are absolutely ridiculous.
Like I can remember the time like when my grandmother was, managing credit cards and those APRs being 6.99.
Yes.
I mean, I'm talking about late 90s, early 2000s, the very most 11.99, and that was rare. That was like probably like a store card, Lowe's,
Yes.
something like that. But for the most part, like her City, her Capital One, things under fucking 6%.
Now
they
it's
on
15, 22,
28.
I've seen some that were 32 and 35.
And you talking about low interest. I remember when they would send me credit card offers with 0%.
Oh, that's
I paid off with a Discover card so many bills, even my car. I paid off my car back in the 90s with a 0% interest rate credit card. And so they would give me that 0 interest rate for 12 months. And I would make them payments with 0 interest. And then the minute that 12 month was up, I flipped that to another credit card. I get another one that had 0% interest for 12 months.
She ain't paying no interest.
I ain't paying no interest. I'm not giving away the money. I'm not giving it away.
100% with that.
Good. That's good information.
So how has the industry evolved? Like, what have you seen as far as like, I know banking, most corporations were male dominant, but now in banking, how do you see that the industry has evolved as far as women in leadership positions?
It's funny that you say that, I guess, because I work with mostly women. As far as management, like my boss is a woman, her boss is a woman. All of the managers in Cove are women. There's a lot of managers.
Okay, so that
women
now
forward.
Women
forward.
Right?
Girl power.
Yes.
I love it.
What's a lesson your career has taught you that no literacy book could have taught you, that you couldn't have learned in a book?
A lesson that I could have learned.
You couldn't have learned it in a book. Yeah. But the being in there for 22 years is what you've learned it from.
What's the word that? Not grateful, but it's slipping my mind. I can explain it.
Okay.
So it's when it's basically empathy. Empathy for people.
Yes.
Because before this is what it is. I used to be definitely a black and white person, but now I have grace and space. So when a customer comes or anybody comes and they want to learn something or they need help with something, I have more grace than I did before.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
So that would lead me into the next question.
Does it?
It does. It leads me directly into the next question. It's, what qualities should a person have in order to do the job that you do?
Patience.
Mm.
I can say that 1,000 times because you have to have patience with employees and customers. You have to have the empathy, and that was something that was learned. It wasn't something,
Right.
and I grew into that. It wasn't something that came overnight because I didn't care.
So what passion and so saying that, what is your passion that keeps you going and staying in this business?
It's always going to be being able to help people,
Right.
help people grow, and especially when someone young. I had a young kid come into my branch the other day, and I was so impressed. I have not been so impressed with somebody in a very long time. He already had his stuff together. He already had some revolving credit. He wanted to buy a duplex, and we talked about refinancing his car. He knew, like most people that come in, like, well, what's your interest rate on your car? I don't know. He knew his interest rate.
Good parenting.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
his mom came back the next day with him, and I told her, I was like, you should be a proud mom.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I was
Yeah.
definitely proud of you. I told him, I was like, I'm proud of you for knowing your stuff
Good.
and
That's
being
good
able
you
to grow.
said that, especially
Yeah.
these days, because we have our younger people that aren't as savvy with their money.
Right.
They aren't as savvy with the terms when it comes to banking and knowing their
I
credit.
think most people would be intimidated or scared.
Yes.
Because-
Yes.
And I don't like to see when people go and cash their check and pay a fee. I don't want somebody to have to go and pay a fee just to cash your check. That's whether it's $5 or $10, that you could be putting that towards something else.
Right.
Paying yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paying yourself.
So how can people build a better relationship with their bank instead of fearing when they come through the door? Like, what are steps they can take to build that relationship with the bank?
I think it just starts by walking in and starting something, starting your own checking account, starting there. And then most banks have it to where you can build your credit, get some kind of credit builder loan or something like that that'll help you. So if you walk in and especially if you get somebody that is knowledgeable, whether it's a teller or a manager, they're gonna hopefully inform you and tell you what you need to do or how
Just
to
walk
help
in the
you.
door.
Just walk in the door.
Just walk
Yeah.
in the door, people.
Just walk in.
So how do you balance being approachable to both customers and employees, but also you're in an authoritative position. So how do you balance the two, specifically with your employees?
That was also a hard process. I learned, I'm not going to get the quote right, but I'm going to say how it's supposed to go is like 6 + 4 = 10, but so does 5 + 5.
Mm-hmm.
The way you think is not going to be always the way that I think. And also I can't do everything on my own.
Right.
I had to learn that everything is, just because I might be a little OCD, it doesn't mean it has to be my way.
Right.
You can come to me now with an idea and I can be like, okay, and I'll let you run with it for the most part. It's still hard, I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Right.
Because it's not that I want it to be done my way, but I do want it to be done correctly. And there's some gray areas now versus just black and white.
Gotcha.
Good.
Gotcha.
Good.
Efficiency is everything.
Yeah.
And that comes with being a
Because
good.
it's gonna get done. It
leader.
may not be the way that I wanted it to, but it's
Right.
still gonna be done correctly.
But we want to work smarter and not harder.
Yeah.
I guess.
And you have people now, like I work with everybody, I could probably be their mother. So being that, I have to give them, empower them to think on their own and do things on their
Good
own.
stuff.
Empowerment. That's a good word.
Strong.
Yeah, that's a good word. That's a good word. So, tell me, what is one healthy financial habit that you have for yourself and you live by?
Staying out of debt.
Staying out of
I
debt.
ain't
And
saying
how do
completely
you
out
do
of
that?
debt. Hold on.
And how do you do that?
Just pay your bills.
Tell us all how you do that.
I don't know if I should go into the story of how I got into debt, but got into debt behind somebody else. And
As most of us do sometimes.
I think they wanted me to suffer and be to where I couldn't grow. So I got in a lot of credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I got myself out by taking a loan out of my 401k.
Okay.
and paying my credit card, so I wouldn't have the high interest,
Mhm.
and I'm paying
Gotcha.
myself back
Yes.
plus the interest.
Yes.
So it does come out of my check every month, so it has to be budgeted. But I was still able to get my house after that.
Look at you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and now I have my cards, and it's not cheap, but it works for me for now.
So take that tidbit.
So
What it
ladies,
is,
yeah.
if you get into it, get yourself
Yeah.
get yourself out of it. Like,
I think back in the day,
Like,
y'all remember
and that
writing in
is possible.
checkbooks and
Yes.
managing your checkbooks that way? That's how it is. I remember
Checks and balances.
Yes, I remember to get myself out of debt when I was in my 20s. They had this book that you were able to write down everything: your rent, your mortgage, or do a regular check register.
I still do that.
And we still have we have customers that come in and get them all the time.
That's right.
But that's how you manage your
I still
money.
do that.
Mhm.
And if you're a visual person and you have to
That's
see
what I say,
it,
some people have to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
so that's a great way to do it. That's how I did and how I got myself paying off my credit, like one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So ladies, just know that I'm not sure, but a lot of us go through financial hardships due to someone else's misgivings
And gentlemen.
yeah, and gentlemen,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. We don't want to leave that out. But just know that there is a way out.
Yes.
You just have to walk in the door. Okay?
Yeah.
Just walk in the door and know that there is a way out, because the worst feeling in the world is not
Feeling
having
stuck.
money.
And then
Yeah,
feeling,
feeling
stuck.
stuck.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can't do it.
Right. And especially when it's not to your own doing to a certain extent, that makes it that much worse.
Mhm.
But at the same time, that for me, that made me fight harder.
Yeah.
Simply because I knew that person did not want me to excel
Succeed. Yep.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
succeed. I
Yeah.
knew that. So I may have went in it with the attitude of, I'm gonna show you, but I still got out of it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know.
I
That's something to
know.
be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I recall sitting in Bible study one night at church, and I would never forget. And I have lived by this since the day I heard him say it. And I was probably about 27. I'm not going to tell my age, but I might be aging myself a little bit.
She's 28 and a half.
Right. But many years ago, the pastor that was teaching that night, that Bible study lesson, he said, if your income is more than your outgo, then your upkeep will be your downfall. And I have lived by that my income, my outgo is not more than my income, so that my upkeep will not be my downfall.
But then we go to church and we were it wasn't a financial class, but they did talk to us about that. And
Yeah.
we all agreed.
Yeah, we had
What did we agree?
That
We
are-
agreed. We did agree.
We did agree.
We did agree.
We did agree.
Okay.
What would
Reluctantly, some of us agreed.
Yeah,
but we all agreed.
We
And I think we all ended up doing it though.
for a little while.
Yes.
You know, it was a great
It
though.
was
It was
really
a great
good.
series. It was a good workshop. I'm
Yes.
glad that we went. But we were also convicted
Yeah.
sitting in that
Yeah.
room like
For sure.
Yeah.
shit that
Trying to curl your feet up under your
listen,
legs,
listen.
up under the
It was
chair, like,
basically
please get off my
telling
toes.
us not let other people put you in debt, not let
Yeah,
other people
absolutely.
dictate the fact that
Or keeping up with the Joneses mentality.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're keeping up with the Joneses and not even knowing that the Joneses ain't really got shit. Like all they got is things. So
Yeah.
that's something totally
Y'all
different.
remember that commercial? The man is riding around his front yard on a lawnmower. He got a boat in the yard. He got a
Jesus.
car. He got a
Jesus.
huge house, everything. And he says, everybody wants to know how I got all the things that I have. And he said, I'm in debt up to my
The Lord
eyeballs.
have mercy.
Up to my eyeballs, I'm in debt. Don't be that guy.
Don't
be
be
that
him.
guy.
Don't be
Don't
that
be
guy.
him. And a world full of hymns. Be
roaming the streets
somebody
every
else.
day.
Right.
Be somebody
Absolutely.
else.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, I get it. All right, y'all. It is time for Ash It or Pass It. I don't think you
Okay.
played this with us
No.
before. But we will give some statements. And if you want to keep it or if it's something that you like or want to do, you will ash it. And if it's something like, no, get that shit out of here, we're going to pass it.
Okay.
Everybody ready? I know
We're
it's-
ready.
All right.
Ready,
Ash it or
set.
pass it. Mentorship matters more than management. Ash it or pass it.
Oh, Ash.
Ash means I want to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Ash it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't say why. We just say.
You just,
Yeah,
yes.
just
Ash it or
Ash it or pass it.
Okay. I say Ash it.
All right. If you can't talk money with your partner, you don't need one.
Ash it.
I'm
I say
ashing that.
ash it. You should be able to talk anything.
I
Anything.
think yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you can't talk it, that's how you get into that
Mhm,
by someone
mhm,
else.
mhm.
Facts.
And that communication goes
Absolutely.
both ways. You could be learning something from your partner or teaching your partner
It's a give
something
and take.
about money. Yeah,
It's a give and
absolutely. So as long as that conversation is being had about money, yeah, I'll say ash it as well. So do you think, ash or pass, women make better leaders than men because they listen? I'm gonna say pass because I don't
It's
believe
just
that.
not fair.
It's not
Yeah,
I would
I'm
say
a
yeah.
pass.
so.
Yeah,
Pass on that.
because I know some women that you can't tell nothing.
That's true, 'cause
Nothing.
they're
You know?
bullheaded.
And a lot of time men are more logical, you know.
Yeah.
Because they don't think with their emotions.
Right.
We do.
All
There's
all
women
women
that
thinking
don't.
about is I can't spend it.
Oh.
And men are thinking about providing.
Yeah,
And make
long
sure
run.
he's
Long
looking 5
run.
years ahead. If we spend this
Okay.
money
I
now,
understand.
we might be broke.
Because you
And
wanna,
Absolutely.
because you want a new house
you
and a
want
new
to buy
car.
some shoes,
Because you want to buy
like
some shoes.
or you want to buy a new outfit because you're gonna go on a trip.
Well, because I don't need a new outfit. I got nothing in my
Girl,
closet.
you will buy a new wardrobe. Not a new outfit.
The whole
A
outfit
new
would be outfit.
wardrobe.
You all.
You all.
Don't
You
listen
feeling
to that.
judged?
Don't listen
You
to
feeling
that.
judged
I'm
a little
feeling
bit?
attacked.
It's not just you. We all do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
See, now the truth.
Because I'm not wearing it.
Tell
I'm
the
not taking the
truth.
same clothes on the next
I'm not
trip.
gonna do it.
Oh my gosh.
Like y'all might not.
How you gonna know I'm a different trip?
Y'all may not ever see me in the same
Tasha
thing
posts
on
everything.
this platform.
That's right.
Absolutely not.
Definitely not going out of the way without a new wardrobe. I'm working on it though. I'm doing much better. Thank God.
Just don't go into debt doing it.
I'm not gonna go in. Listen, so I'm the cash girl. Like if I can't buy it cash, I feel like I can't have it. So I'm good with it.
Mhm.
I'm good with it. You can't pray your way out of poor planning. Ash it or pass it.
I
I
say
mean,
ash it because you
yeah.
can pray your way
I'm
out of anything.
ashing that.
I
Ashing
think
that.
you can pray your way out of anything.
All right. Building wealth quietly is the ultimate flex.
Ash that.
I say ash.
Ash
I
that.
don't
Yeah.
feel like everybody ain't got to be in your business.
Right.
Ash that.
And
Right.
when everyone is in your business,
That's
that's
when
when your
things go
business
wrong.
becomes an issue.
Yeah, because you got everybody trying to tell you what to do
Exactly. Exactly.
when they can't tell
That's why the
you
people
what
that
to
won the
do.
lottery probably broke now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you say business cred is the adult version of street cred? Ash it or pass it?
No, I'm gonna pass.
You gonna pass it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's some things you do on the street. You can't do.
Would you think that okay, I got another ash or pass.
Go.
Money reveals character, not class.
Money. Oh, ash that.
Ash that.
Ash
I would
that.
say so. 'Cause, yeah.
Yeah,
Ash
ash
it.
that.
You like to say how you do anything is how you do everything.
How do we
So
all know?
pay attention to that. Pay attention to how you do certain things,
Yes,
and you'll
yes.
see that you
It's a
model that.
pattern. It's
Yes.
a pattern. You'll see it show
Yes.
up over and over and
It's a
over
pattern.
again. If you can't budget it, you can't build it. If you can't budget it, you can't build it.
Ash.
I say
Ash.
ash.
Ash. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Would you take good credit over good chemistry?
Ooh.
No, I'm gonna pass.
I'm gonna pass that too.
I'm gonna pass.
She's gonna ash it.
Good credit over good
She had to say
I
it
already
again.
know. Look.
She had to
gotta
say it
think too
again.
long.
credit over good chemistry.
She's
You
still
know,
balancing the scale.
It's not all
She's
about
still
money,
balancing the
Tasha.
scale.
It's not all about money. Roll a barrel. God damn it, roll the barrel. This was a very, very good show.
Mm-hmm.
Was.
Very,
It was
Absolutely.
very
Thank
informative.
you for being here. Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
participating. Absolutely.
Your pleasure.
And
My
now,
pleasure.
now we've come to that part in the show that we like to call the final draw. Tonight's conversation had a little bit of depth to it. Marcey showed us what it looks like when passion and partnership move in the same rhythm. You get that?
I see what you did there. I see
Rhythm
what
and
you
blues.
did there.
Move in the same rhythm, how love and business breathe in the same space and not lose their spark. And Juanita, our girl, 22 years in the banking game, she reminded us that leadership is not just about managing people. It's also about managing yourself. The grace you mentioned today, the patience that you mentioned today, and the discipline, that quiet strength that kind of holds the room steady even when, numbers don't. It made me think about my own, balance in my own life. I've recently opened a high yielding savings account. Be proud of me. And I opened a Roth IRA and also an investment account. So trying to make my money work while I rest.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about, it ain't doing nothing under that mattress.
Not doing anything.
Ladies and gentlemen. So I didn't even know when I went in the bank to get that Roth IRA that they were going to do a credit check. They did a credit check. I said, well, what kind of credit check are you doing? And she's like, oh, it's just a soft credit check, blah, blah, blah. So be aware of that, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to open up a Roth IRA account, they may want to do a credit check. But it made me think about, child, how even your growth gets tested. They want to know what's going on with you. But isn't that how life works?
That's how life works.
Right.
You gotta grow.
Every decision, whether it be financial, emotional, spiritual, it all leaves a mark.
Yeah.
It all leaves a trail like breadcrumbs. It's all connected. So here's what we learned. That balance just isn't something you find, right? It's something that's curated. It's something that is built brick by brick, choice by choice.
Yeah.
You build it through intention, being intentional about your actions, through structure. You talked about, having that structure, to build something, and through a little bit of surrender or sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're going to have to sacrifice
You gotta give
some
something
things.
up.
Yeah.
gotta give
You
something
ain't
up.
going to always be able to go.
I can't go.
You ain't going to always be able to buy.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So big love to Marcey from the Leaf Affair Lounge for showing us how partnership and purpose have that dance, that balance together. And Juanita, thank you for reminding us that leadership done right and done with heart lasts longer than any title ever could.
Absolutely.
And that being said, Ashes and Influence, here at Ashes and Influence, it's never just about the smoke.
Never.
Although the smoke is important. The smoke is vital.
My smoke was good.
The smoke is good. It's never just about the smoke. It's also about the stories, the lessons, and the legacy behind it. So until next time, may your ash be long, your balance be steady, and your influence be undeniable.
Thank you for joining us, y'all. See y'all next week.
All right.